Okay, so that's the sort of helicopter it's going to look like. That's what you can download the file on Medifier. I put it on there where you get the minigun and everything, and so yeah, it's I think it's 13 megabyte size wise, so it's not very big. So yeah, you need that file if you want the minigun and everything to work. I got the minigun on the free model site, and then I adjusted it slightly and colored it a little bit. So that's how I did that. But this is my second tutorial. I'm not going to actually show you about so much deeply about the propellers, because I did that on my first tutorial. I'll put a link to that below as well. So anyway, let's get started real quickly, because that's what people want. I think I do. So there's my that layer, new, same old, you know, guys. Solid. Now this time I'm going to actually layer new and put a camera in. I'm not really going to use it, but I'm putting it in. New, and I'm going to put a light in as well, and I'm using an ambient light, and quite high ambient light, just so I can see what I'm doing for now. Alright, so that's that. Then of course on the solid we apply Video Copilot 3D element, and then we go to scene setup. Now the file that you've downloaded, hopefully you downloaded, it's free, so you know, no reason not to here. I did a bit of work on that file, by the way, so just let me know if it works for you, or you have any problems with it. Just let me know and I'll see what I can do about it, or it's nice to know either way. I put it in my documents, Video Copilot, and I put it under my models, and new heli. Click on that folder there with new heli, and you'll see you get all these, and you want to click on to main chopper and bits. Right, so as you can see, it's slightly different. Everything's there, by the way. Like the small propeller is there. I've just put it into the anchor point in the middle on this axis here, so that we don't have to move it on the spin rotation. So it is there. So you can see that these rockets are here. They don't actually go that well with it, but you've got 3 rockets there, and we're going to fire this rocket off. We're going to put it on separately and fire that rocket off. Or not, you know. And I'm not going to show you the trap code particular for the smoke and the fire that comes out the back of the rocket. But I will put a link to Video Copilot, who does a much better job at telling you about that than I do. So yeah, so let's get on with it anyway. So what do you get in this folder now, this new folder? Well, you get the missiles, which we'll just turn them off for now. Right, we'll turn them off, the missiles. And you get your back rotor, you get your minigun, and your front rotor, and this is the main chopper, the main helicopter. And if you click on that, you will get all the things in there separated. Pilots you can have in or out. They're all textured. You can texture them with whatever you want, anything different. But here's something here, right? As you can see, we've got 4 sort of. What's that rocket doing there? Hey, cool. Get rid of that. Right. So you've got. These are called down here that I think pods, I think would be a good word for them, and that they usually sometimes house sort of rockets inside, I believe, but I'll call them pods. If you want to have the pods on instead of the other rockets, which you can do here, if you just turn them on, now you've got all the pods on, and the helicopter looks a bit more like the Blackhawk helicopter. Now I've textured these slightly different, but you can texture them whatever you want. But so if you want them on, there they are. If you don't want them on, take them off. So we're taking them off for now. Right, so that's the helicopter. So let's get sort of started. I'm going to say quickly go over the rotors, because I've already done that in my other tutorial. So click on the front rotor, hold left click and hold and drag down till it comes out. Then put that onto group 2, because your main chopper is on group 1. And then your back rotor, drag that down until it turns red, so it's out the folder. Put that onto 3. So let's go in there now and just see what we can do about that. there we have it there. Right, so let's go to group 1 first. Create null. Create null, and we'll call this main body. And I always call it null because like I say, I have to. Go on to group 2, which is your big rotor. Create, right click, rename, big rotor I'm calling it. Woohoo. That's good. And then click on that again and go to group 3, which will be create null, and that's your small rotor. Probably wondering why I'm taking time to type and everything else. I'm typing over my cup of coffee and also the microphone, so yeah, it's a bit compressed here, but we're doing our best, you know. Okay, so you got all these done. Right, so your main body there. So now you want to pick with your small rotor to your main body, your big rotor to your main body. Right, and now we're going to leave that for now, and we know they all work. So yeah, let's go back to scene setup in 3D element, and let's take a look here. All right, so now let's do your minigun. So let's drag your minigun out, and this now will be out of the folder, and now it'll be on to group number 4. And like I say, I got the minigun from a free model site, and then I adjusted it a few places, put some different colors into it, made it look a little bit better. Okay, so that's on group 4. So let's go down to group number 4. Create null, and this is minigun null. I wonder how many bullets per second they shoot or whatever. I don't know. I think it's quite a lot, isn't it? So let's go to top and bring it forward. Make sure you're connected there. Make sure you get the handle right. And I believe it's probably needs to be. So let's go to left and go down, and as you can see, we need to turn the minigun is completely upside down, so we need to turn it 180 degrees on the Zulu axis. So turn it 180 or so degrees. Now let's go to the front view, and then make sure you get onto the minigun one and move the minigun up. And obviously we go to let's go to right view, move it along like so, and the gun looks a bit big, so let's go to normal view for now and see what we got going here. Okay, it's not normal view, it's active view actually. But there you go. So let's get hold of the while we got it into the sort of nearly the right position of such, we're going to now pick with the minigun to the main body. Okay, so there it is. So now we can move the main body around to get the gun a little bit better on where it should be. And let's have a look. That's not too bad. It looks perhaps a bit big, maybe, I don't know, maybe it should go up a bit more. It's all down to personal taste for you, whatever you think might look better. I think perhaps it should be slightly smaller, might weigh the helicopter down a bit, I'm not sure, but there you go. Right, so that's that, sort of. So we can move that around like this. So now you've got the minigun there. Cool, that looks a mean boy, man. Mean, he could do some damage, that thing. Right, so now let's go back into, and like I say, I think you can rotate this gun Let's just see, let's move this around so we can show you what the minigun. As the axis is correct, we can now shoot, like rotate and shoot that like this, so it will shoot or move around and shoot. You can even tilt it up and down when you want to animate it. So that's the gun. Let's do the rocket. Let's go back into here. Now let's turn all the rockets back on, and I believe I put all the rockets onto the helicopter but one, I believe. I think, yes, but one there. So we got all the rockets on now, and we've turned the fourth rocket on. So let's see which one that must be. Which one would that be? Okay, it must be the one that doesn't disappear. So it must be that one. So this is the one that's in the helicopter there, but it's on the anchor points in the middle there, so it keeps it correctly in the space. So you left click that, drag it into and drop it in, and that will be group number 5. Now we've used all the groups up, but there is a way of using auxiliary channels for the other missiles. Okay, I haven't done it myself, but there is. So now we've got the missiles on there, but what we haven't got is the missile on this one. So what we need to do now is to find the missile on this one, and that's in group number 5. So we better give it a group null, create group null, and this is missile null. I watched quite a lot of video co-pilots tutorials, and some of them very good. Some of them quite a few of them actually, I follow them exactly as they say, and it just doesn't work for me. So I don't know whether he's missing something out or something, but it just doesn't work a lot of the times. But the tutorial I put down there for the rocket, for the smoke for the rocket and everything, does work. So anyway, so let's move this missile now down and see where it is. Let's go to, say, top, and see where this missile is hanging about. And of course I have turned the helicopter around, so perhaps if we turn the helicopter the correct, let's go to main body and go zero that one out, and that's better. So let's go to, say, left, and click on that and go up, and then we go right and see where that is this time. And they're in there like that. So let's go front now and move that across. You can have these missiles slightly bigger or smaller, whatever you want. You can resize them. I think they look, if you get them too big, they're not really made for this helicopter, so they could look a bit silly if they don't already, that is. So let's while we're here, let's pickwick that, as we got it so close. So missile null, pickwick that to the main body. Now we can move the main body around and maybe take a look underneath and see what that looks like underneath. Doesn't look too bad, and I think it needs to be slightly tilted, I believe. If you can see, the other ones are tilted slightly up. This one isn't not quite tilted at all, so I think we need to tilt that up. Not the helicopter, the missile, sorry. Let's go do that again. So, and tilt it up just slightly there. Okay, right, so let's put a background in there to make it look a bit better. I mean, the lighting is crap, but let's put this in there and drop that in, and let's go right and fit to comp and put it down below, of course, and make sure you're in the right view, of course, active view. Right, and where did my helicopter go? Oh dear, there we go. A lot of things going wrong on this one, sorry about that guys, but yeah. Now this is the back picture I used at the beginning, as you know. I downloaded it. I didn't spend a lot of time with it because I thought, well, you know, this is just to show whatever, but you don't normally get these sort of half tracks or whatever they are doing work there anyway in the war, but never mind. As you can see, the helicopter looks absolutely disgusting. So if we change the light to say parallel, turn it down some, okay, and I'll tell you, there's a little bit of a thing here. If you want it to, something to match in with a scene, you can use obviously curves in this program, curves and color correction and things like that, but it does take time. There is a plugin made by Red Giant. If you go to effects, sorry, let's get on to it, go to effects and go down to key correct. Now there's two things on key correct I use matte feather, because I use a lot of green screen, and what that does is basically goes around the edge of your green screen person that you've cut out and smooths the edge, and it does a very good job. And color matcher I use, and also there is light wrap, which is supposed to, you know, make the light edging around you the same as I've never really found that any good, but color matcher is very good. What you do is you click on that and you come down here and you see that it's got the color matcher there, right? And target layer, and it's none. It's usually always none, so you've got to put the target layer in it, and we're going to put this layer in at the bottom as the target layer, right? Because that's where the helicopter is, and it's automatically set at 50%. Sometimes that's too much, sometimes it's not enough. Anyway, so let's just go in there and just watch the helicopter change there. Now watch. Click on that. You see that? You see the way the helicopter changed and blended in a bit better? Now you can blend it right in. I think that's too much. Or just give it a hint of it. But a very good plugin. I use that awful lot of times. It saves a lot of time, that does. So yeah, and the other thing of course that you want to do is go into render. Let's close these up some so it's not so busy looking there. Is go into render settings and of course turn your ambient occlusion on, right, which helps out quite a lot. And I also will let you know that the in the render settings under motion blur here, if you see this over here on the left, motion blur, I use the for the rocket that you saw go off at the beginning, I used the motion blur that the After Effects has, but I found also for the propellers that the motion blur, Video Copilot's motion blur, looked better for the propellers. So it takes longer to render, but it does look, I think it looks better myself. Now what was I doing? I forgot what I'm doing. That's the trouble when you get to mind. Anyway, lighting. Anyway, let's shadows, enable shadows, of course. Put them on. And lighting, we're going to go for, it's got none here, let's go for dark, whatever. Anyway, look, we won't spend a lot of time on that. That's all personal taste stuff. Sometimes it's good to have a couple of lights in there, one shining this way, one shining that way, but like I say, that's whatever. And you put a shadow down here, which I did in the front bit, and I used real shadows and faded it out quite a bit. Sometimes real shadow does work quite well. It's just to sort of play the part anyway. So here's the missile anyway, so let's get the missile, and you've got the missile there, and you click on to position, and I can't remember which one rotates it exactly around, but we'll click them on there anyway. So let's move this up to there, and then it's going to be real quick. It has to be real quick because it's a missile, so let's just fire that off like that. And then let's see what, and then the twist, let's see, I think, let's have a look which one's the twist. That's not that one. Obviously it's the Zulu, sorry. Zulu, that's the twist. So you can put a little twist on if you want. So let's move this down. I can see the pictures, the colouring and the lighting's a bit dark here on this, but never mind. Also, another good plugin is Looks by Red Giant. That's very good. So let's just get back here. And see, we haven't got the things rotating because, let's move that down, that's a little bit too soon. Let's and the rotation really doesn't want to start when the muzzle goes off. It wants to start after it's taken off, so it doesn't want to be spinning while it's in the chopper. Like I say, this is all just showing you the basics here, and what will happen is, look at the slow boat to China there. Missile, incoming missile. That's alright, we got time for a cup of tea first, by the look of it. I'll just let that render a bit. Let's shorten the render time down to about there, just to show you how slow that could be. But there's the missile going off. Now, as you can see, there's no motion blur on that or anything else like that, so it will look a bit whatever. Now, there's another thing that you can use that does help out a great deal for scenes like this, and that is camera shake. Now, there's universal camera shake from whatever, it's free, but it's not that good. I found the best camera shake available that is free is Hitman plugins. The Hitman plugins are free, and they offered a package for free. I don't know why they did that, but they did. Good advertisement, I guess, advertising themselves. But the camera shake itself, I think, is very good. I haven't tried the other plugins. Some of them double up in After Effects, like the color correction, things like that, so you don't need that. They do have one for muzzle flash, which apparently isn't too bad. I haven't tried it. But yeah, Hitman plugins is, and they work in After Effects. So so stop talking and play the missile. Right, obviously speed the missile up. Obviously to a certain point. Like I say, this, I'm showing this now, but this is, you've got what you've wanted here, not what you wanted, but you've got all the things you need here now to in that file to be able to do make a helicopter video. I'd like to see one, by the way. I'd like to see them, and you know, give me a link to it, and I will certainly watch them. And that's not too bad. That's not too bad. Was it hesitating at the end there for, I wonder? I see, because it's not gone out the screen far enough when it hits the end. That, so now it's gone out the screen now. Okay, and obviously pumping the motion blur on that will make it 10 times better. So there you go. Render, render, render. And let's see that. Of course, it will look a bit better if the propellers were running and everything else. But we know that they were running. Where's the propeller? Not there or something. Anyway, I've already done the propellers on the other tutorial, so watch that one. This is this one. Now, I can quickly say about the if you click onto the missile null, well, actually you click onto 3D element and go down to the null. No, go down to, close everything up here so it's not so busy for you. And if you go down to utilities, right, this is for talking about the smoke on the missile when you want to use a light as a tracker and use the emitter or trap code particular for smoke. You go down to utilities here, right, and you see create 3D position. So this is what you do. You actually turn your helicopter around. So let's get your main body and turn your helicopter, say, like this. Get closer and get back to your utility thing, and it says select a 2D position. So click on that crosshair there and then click on the back of that missile, right? You click on the back of that missile there, and then it says generate. So you click on generate, and that will give you a sort of a null there that will give it a 3D position, right? But you don't actually use that, right? You use a light to do because you use trap code in particular, and so it tracks the lights. So you use that. That's your 3D position, right? And what you do is you pick whip that to your body. I think that's it. So anyway, look, I'll give you a link down below for that video. It shows you quite a lot. It's the airplanes ones, but it doesn't make any difference what missile it is. You put a light there, and then you take the position there, and it follows that along. Now I had a little trouble with mine because I tilted mine a bit, so I had to sort of keyframe it once or twice just to keep it online for the smoke to work. But yeah, so there is the tutorial. If you need any other tutorials, let me know. If you have any problems with this tutorial, let me know. Like I say, you want to know how to do the propellers and everything else, yeah, I'll put the link below. And so yeah, so good luck with that, and I'd like to see some videos and make them. You can, use the gun, obviously. Shoot everybody you can. Well, no, don't shoot anybody, it's not right, is it? Shoot the ground, shoot some buildings, whatever. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching, and catch you later. Bye.